Welcome to the shop, my friends. Steve here at SKS Props, and in today's video I'm going to show you what it takes to put together a Squid Game Soldier Mask. If this is something that interests you, please select yes or no. Very well, you have selected yes, and so I want to show you all the tips and techniques that I took to put this mask together, including a free PDF file that you can download directly from my website. Now, is this mask 100% accurate? Of course not, but it's good enough for cosplay and great for a quick Halloween costume. So I want to show you what it takes to put this mask together. Let's go ahead and get started.
The first thing I'm going to do is take my template for part A and transfer that onto some 6mm HD foam. This piece is going to make up the top half of our Squid Game Soldier Mask. I make sure to mark my registration points, and then I cut out this piece using a utility knife and a hobby blade. To glue the darts together, I'm going to be using weldwood contact cement. I use my heat gun to do a light heat treatment on the foam. This will make it easier to manipulate. Then it's as simple as lining up my registration points and pressing the foam together. Now remember, the contact cement is pressure activated, so make sure to press both halves together firmly. And it's pretty cool after it's all glued together to see how you could take a flat piece of foam and make it into a curved shape. To minimize my seams and round over the foam even further, I use a smooth sanding drum on my Dremel rotary tool. And be sure to check out my video on how to make a smooth sanding drum. A light heat treatment is used to seal the foam. To detail the perimeter of the mask, I'm going to need 4 strips of 2mm foam. Each one of these is going to be a 1/2 inch by 18 inches long. The first strip is going to be glued to the bottom rim of the mask and then wrapped around to the sides. Any additional foam can just be cut away with some scissors. Now I'm going to take both templates of part B and transfer those onto some 6mm foam, making sure to note which direction is up and faces the middle. Use a little bit of heat to round it over. I cut part C out of some 4mm foam. Now both part B's will adhere to this strip. Using some super glue, I adhere part B to the strip, leaving about a 1/2 inch gap in between these two pieces. Any additional excess foam from this strip can be trimmed away. Taking some additional 2mm strips, I can now glue those to the inner edge of part B. This is a quick and easy way to give a nice detail to the front of the mask. Now I'm going to mark the interior of part A to glue the lower half of the mask to it. I had about a 1 inch overlap on mine. You can adjust where this goes up and down to fit your face properly. To make sure that this mask retains its shape, I'm going to glue another one of those 2mm strips to the inside. Using some super glue, this strip is glued into place while the mask is curved. I add a small block of 4mm foam to the bottom as an additional detail. And now I can wrap another 2mm strip all around the bottom half of the mask. When I get to the sides, I lift the top edge up, and that way I can glue the strip underneath. One more 2mm strip can be glued all along the perimeter of the top half of this mask. Small details like this really add character to the mask. With the fabrication of this mask complete, I can now break out my heat tool, and I'm going to set it to the highest temperature it can go. I'm going to use a small detail bit on my heat tool to punch holes into this mask. Now remember, when you're heating foam, you need to utilize a respirator and do this in a well-ventilated area. If you don't have a heat tool, you could also use a drill. Now I'm not going to lie, this process took a very long time, but I was really happy with how well I could see out of the mask once the holes were put in. Again, my friends, this does not have to be perfect. Of course, I could have measured all these out or cut this on my laser cutter, but not everybody has that opportunity, and I wanted to show that this could all be done by hand. To prime this mask, I'm going to be applying a couple of light coats of Plasti Dip. This is going to seal the foam and give it a unified color for the entire mask, which you can see here. Even if the holes aren't perfect, that unified color makes it look great. I used some masking tape to section off the triangle that I was going to add to this mask. The paint I'm going to apply for this process is going to be FX brand Blizzard. This paint is applied with a mop brush and I'm stippling it over the exposed area of the mask. Now because this paint is a little thin, I'm able to use a hair dryer to dry my first layer and then go back and add some detail layers with a smaller brush. I'm not really worried about my lines being 100% because from 6 feet away, it looks great. Now feel free to also add a circle or a square depending on what rank you want. For a little bit of comfort while I'm wearing this mask, I'm going to hot glue in a small piece of upholstery foam right where my forehead goes. To attach the mask to my face, I'm going to be using some 1-inch elastic strapping. And if you wanted to be a little more screen accurate, you could bring one down from the top as well, but I didn't really think it was necessary since I'm going to be wearing a hood. For an additional reinforcement, I'm going to super glue 2 small strips of 2mm foam over the elastic straps.
So you all can see the steps that I took to put together a one-day build Squid Game Soldier Mask. Now hopefully you're enjoying these videos. If you are, give them a thumbs up, share them with your friends and family, and until next time, build your best with the best. HD Foam.